self-inflicted injuries. She hadn't been playing at suicide, so what was the problem? Now it was obvious. It had been Oliver. Althea had felt like she couldn't do it to him. She owed him too much to take her own life. Oliver had stuck by Althea when she'd been diagnosed as manic depressive 14 years earlier. He'd been 26, Althea 24, and they'd been married only 2 years. That time, it had been an episode of the visions, the upward bounce of the tombs, where she almost needed sunglasses because everything looked so brilliant and delicious, and gloves because the vibrations she felt when she touched even mundane things like doorknobs or Bic pens were too intense. She wanted to lick them or suck on them, and the golds and blues were sharp enough to slice her eyes. Ollie had thought she was kidding at first, then that she was doing drugs. But when she spent one whole day watching a movie on a loop, repeating the dialogue perfectly after only the second viewing, all the parts, replaying it again and again for hours, he knew something was wrong and took her to his internist, who sent them to the hospital immediately. How many other men his age, boys, really, would have stayed by her when they learned there was no cure for her illness, that it would only get worse over time? Probably none. But Oliver had. Why? He'd never told her, and she was afraid to ask. She couldn't figure it out. She was like a stock he had invested all of his savings in that had crashed. Why didn't he leave and start over? Love didn't seem like enough of a reason. Could love hold up to this? Maybe it was character. He was the kind of guy to stick it out no matter what. And since he had done that, stuck by her, did she really have the right to choose such a gruesome ending to their marriage? Make him find her covered in bruises and blood, or see her stuffed in a drawer at some morgue with bad fluorescent lighting, naked but for a toe tag? But what if that was actually the right ending for them both? If she were dead, she would no longer be sick. Despite what they had told her, she would have found herself a cure. She would be at rest, God bless. She knew at first Oliver would feel guilty, think that it was his fault she had died. But then some well-meaning soul would tell him that bipolar people have more success than most populations when it comes to killing themselves, that he really shouldn't take it too personally. And this would signal that enough time had passed for people to say another really stupid thing to him about her, that she was gone, but he had to move on. He could now date, even marry, without being the dick who'd left his mentally ill wife. A total win. She would get it right this time. She would finally have suicided. God, she loved how that sounded. But when she tried to hang herself, the shower rod couldn't sustain her weight, and it slid down the wall, taking her with it. Jesus! Her sole injury was a laceration from smacking her head on the tub. The only upside of this whole fiasco was that she had found something to do from 8:42 a.m. to 9:06 a.m. Filling time was always a bitch during the tombs. Suzanne, Clem's latest nanny, found her trying to clean up the blood on the bathroom floor with a handful of cottonelle. Suzanne phoned Oliver right away, but the head injury was not bad enough for her to call 911. For the moment, Althea might be sick, but she was safe. Attempting suicide was like having sex. There was always a lull before having another go.